Coming up on ATV News, desk receptionists at American University protest unfair working conditions. They have petitioned the university for changes, but the results were not what they hoped for.
Also, a big change for Virginia this month as Republican Glenn Youngkin beat out a former governor in the recent statewide election. We'll delve into this and more. ATV News starts now.
Good afternoon and welcome to ATV News. I'm Payton Ziegler.
And I'm Liv Wood. Thank you for joining us. The American University desk receptionists are following in the footsteps of other workers across the U.S. as they protest their working conditions. Jane Fusco looks into how the campus workers are aiming for change and what other groups on campus are joining the movement.
Across D.C. and the nation, employees are banding together to protest against working conditions they perceive as unfair. At American University, that movement is not slowing down. Right now, AU students who work as desk receptionists in residence halls are fighting for improvements.
Simply put, we want to get paid better for night shifts and we want to get paid better for holiday shifts. That's the most important thing.
On October 11th, the desk attendants submitted a petition with 37 signatures to AU Housing and Residence Life. While the petition started a dialogue, the students' working conditions remain unchanged more than a month later. Desk receptionists are not the only group on campus publicly criticizing the university's treatment of its employees. Last month, a group of protesters marched to President Sylvia Burwell's house asking for better wages and safer working conditions. The AU chapter of Young Democratic Socialists of America is supporting the effort by bringing visibility to these labor-related issues and getting more AU students involved.
I think that throughout the nation and throughout the world, we are just realizing that there is no reason why we can't get what we need and why we can't ask our employers to treat us with respect.
I am Jane Caroline Fusco reporting for ATV News.
Other members of the AU community are also upset about wages. A group of students, faculty, and staff gathered on the quad yesterday afternoon to protest American University's treatment of adjunct professors. Adjunct professors want a livable wage for their time and work. In spring 2021, adjunct professors made $91 for each credit hour of instruction. According to a flyer handed out at the event, a few percentage points of AU's $720 million endowment would be enough to improve compensation for adjuncts over the next 3 years. Adjunct professors and supporters want to see AU's next budget reflect the changes.
The permanent installation of Black Lives Matter Plaza is now complete. BLM Plaza was created in June 2020 in response to police attacks on demonstrators protesting police brutality and racial injustice on the same street.
Absolutely happy about it becoming a permanent plaza within Washington, D.C. It means a lot. We've done a lot, as a people, as a nation.
The recent updates to the plaza cost $4.8 million. The city plans to spend an additional $3 million on the project in the next few months. Just a few miles away in Virginia, Republican Glenn Youngkin beat out Democrat Terry McAuliffe in the gubernatorial race. Fabianna Rincon shares how both parties are taking the Republican victory.
Although 2021 is an interim election year, the events of November 2nd still have an impact on the 2022 and 2024 elections, and according to some American University students, nowhere exemplifies this more than the Virginia gubernatorial race. This past Tuesday, incumbent Democrat Terry McAuliffe lost his bid for re-election to Republican Glenn Youngkin. Youngkin, a conservative businessman and Virginia native, had been trailing McAuliffe in the polls prior to the election and led a narrow bid to oust the governor in the final tally. His campaign pledged to, quote, stand up against all of the legislation that has been passed by the Democrats, end quote. And Youngkin famously prides himself on uber-conservative views.
College Republicans are very proud of what we were able to accomplish this year. Virginia was flipped red for the first time since 2009, and now Virginia will be led by a new, diverse coalition of the GOP.
AU progressives are concerned that Youngkin is one of the next leaders of the DMV. Both sides of the aisle agree that the Virginia gubernatorial election serves as a peek into the future of American politics. Governor-elect Glenn Youngkin and Lieutenant Governor-elect Winsome Sears will be working closely with Governor Northam to ensure a smooth transition of power for the new administration. I am Fabianna Rincon reporting for ATV News.
Coming up after the break, vandals struck Anderson Hall. We'll tell you all about an email sent to all student residents within the building spelling out consequences that could affect everyone in the freshman dorm hall.
Also, dining on campus is something that ATV has covered throughout the semester. Now, with a new student survey published, participants get to discuss their thoughts on the campus dining options. Those stories and more after this break.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back. You're watching ATV News. Plaques and bulletin boards in the Anderson Hall freshman dorm have been vandalized recently. Liv Wood explores what this means for the residents.
On November 1st, an email was sent by the Anderson Hall community directors to residents. The email addressed recent acts of vandalism pertaining to the resident assistance bulletin boards and broken or removed plaques. This includes names on doors, door numbers, and fire, safety, and awareness signs. Students in Anderson have noticed vandalism on their floors, and so have students from other freshman halls.
A lot of our signs get ripped off the walls. I know that a lot of people's, their dorm number gets ripped off. I know that the men's bathroom sign has been ripped off.
I know on our floor there's people stealing room numbers all down one of the hallways. So it's like every day another one's missing.
Anderson Hall community directors Angelina Tolley and Brian McCollum mention it is a violation of the Student Conduct Code's residence hall regulations to, quote, mark, deface, steal, harbor, or damage any property belonging to the university, any hall, resident, or commercial vendor, end quote. Part of the vandalism was the removal of plaques, which can put students or resident assistants at risk because rooms can no longer be identified in emergency systems or evacuations.
American University dining is always a point of conversation for those who eat from the options daily. As Ben Mermel reports, students had the opportunity this fall to share their concerns and compliments on the food here at AU.
This fall semester is the first one in nearly 2 years that students have been able to eat at TDR in the various kiosks around the American University campus, including Wonk Burger, Build Pizza, the DAV, and Einstein Bagels. In the last 2 semesters, students who lived in the district while classes were online had to either cook for themselves or get takeout daily. With the newly available options on campus providing a convenient source of meals, ATV spoke to students on how they feel about the food scene returning to normal.
So I feel like dining services really truly cater to the well-being of all of us as individuals, and there's so much variety and selection of food. It's truly a buffet style. There are some inconsistency issues, some highs and lows, peaks and valleys, and sometimes it's hit or miss, but the community as a whole is always engaged in it.
Campus dining here is really hit or miss. If you go to TDR, you might get a good day or a bad day. I think the breakfast tends to be better than like lunch or dinner. As far as like the kiosks here, it really depends on like what time you get there. I think if you get there at night, you might not get like what you want.
The on-campus dining options are helpful for first-year students who might not be used to cooking for themselves. We reached out to AU Dining for permission to film inside TDR, but unfortunately we weren't able to get it. I'm Ben Mermel, reporting for ATV News.
Lots of upcoming campus, clubs, and organizations events throughout November and December. Here are a few of those. The Pride Alumni Alliance and Resident Hall Association's annual Thanksgiving feast for students who are unable to go home takes place on November 25th. Students who want to join Greek organizations can meet virtually on November 29th to learn more about joining fraternity and sorority life on campus. Anyone who wants to listen to some singing can purchase tickets for the AU Chorus Show on December 4th and 5th. For more information about the community calendar events here at American University, students can go to the Cork app and follow AU Campus Life or at AU Involvement on Instagram.
American University continues to battle the COVID-19 pandemic and its effects. Madyson Brown gives us an update on COVID on AU's campus and the availability of booster shots for student and staff.
As the holiday season approaches, students are watching American University's coronavirus dashboard. Currently on campus, there have been 102 confirmed cases with 0 reported hospitalizations. There have been over 18,000 tests administered on campus, and the rate of confirmed cases per week sits at 0.06%. The latest regulations on vaccinations and booster shots have also been released this month. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, those individuals who received their last vaccination dose at least 6 months ago are eligible for the Pfizer and Moderna booster shots at their local pharmacy. If you are 18 or older and you received your dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine at least 2 months ago, you are also eligible to receive your booster shot. Brooke Feiner, a freshman at American University, received the booster shot on October 24th.
I went to the Walgreens on New Mexico, just filled out the consent form, handed them my vaccine card, and then I waited for maybe 2 minutes and then got the shot.
As always, if you feel like you have symptoms, head over to Constitution Hall on East Campus to get tested and keep our community healthy. I'm Madyson Brown with ATV News.
ATV News will be right back with a story on the protocols students must follow after Thanksgiving break. For those planning to go home and leave the DC area, we'll tell you what actions you need to complete when you get back to campus.
And with the fall semester coming to a close next month, ATV hears from students about their efforts to secure an internship for the spring, including applications, interviews, and the best ways the Career Center says to grab that position. That and more after the break.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Pandemic travel is still a headache for some. And on top of that, students have to get tested when they return from Thanksgiving break. Gabby Arnold reports on the rules and protocols American University has put into place to prevent outbreaks following the holiday.
As the semester comes to an end, American University students are arranging travel plans to celebrate Thanksgiving, a week to take a break from ongoing classes and for some to return home. With students represented from all 50 states with varying state and local guidelines surrounding COVID-19, travel this holiday season will entail more than booking an airline ticket.
It's social distancing, wearing masks. My grandparents are going to be coming in from Texas. They're both vaccinated. All of our family is vaccinated too. So I guess nothing out of the ordinary per se, but we're taking the recommended steps.
American University no longer has specific guidelines relating to domestic travel. The university will continue to offer free COVID testing to the community for the foreseeable future.
I'm probably gonna get tested before I go back. We use like the rapid testing they have.
I also want to try to get tested while I'm home, but it's not like quite as easy. I think I'd have to get to a Walgreens, but that is something that I'd like to do before coming back.
Yes, I would like to get tested at Constitution.
University President Sylvia Burwell announced in an email that in-person classes will continue to be held on campus following the break. I'm Gabby Arnold reporting for ATV News.
American University students, faculty, and family received an email last week from Vice President Fanta Ah and Medical Director David Reitman regarding a positive tuberculosis case on campus. Per the memo posted on the Student Health Center website, the DC Department of Health is contacting individuals directly if testing is needed. Individuals will receive an encrypted email from dc.gov. Routine TB tests will not be performed in the Student Health Center. If you have any questions or concerns, reach out to the Student Health Center for more information.
AU students have the opportunity each semester to apply to internships right here in DC at some of the top organizations in the nation. Spring internships give students something to look forward to after final exams.
As American University students wrap up the fall semester this year, spring schedules aren't the only thing they have to plan. They also have to look forward and make a plan for their spring internships. As expected, Washington, D.C. has numerous internship opportunities.
I'm a political science major, so my dream internship would be to work on Capitol Hill, interning for a member of Congress.
I started AU working on the Hill, and I've done an internship with a healthcare lobbying firm.
No, not for lack of trying. I tried to intern with a state senator back home in Mass.
My dream internship is to intern with the United Nations.
At many Washington, D.C. colleges and universities, the internship culture is quite competitive. For students that are interested in gaining internship experience, the Career Center says to be sure to start applying now for the chance at some great opportunities.
The American University Eagles started and ended seasons victoriously in the last week with the first game wins and qualifiers to the championship. The Eagles started off the men's basketball season strong this last Tuesday with a 77-73 overtime win at Marist College. Going up against Navy for the second time this season, the men's soccer team advanced to the Patriot League Championship for the second season in a row with a 4-2 win. AU men's and women's swim and dive teams had 9 top 5 finishes during the Navy quad meet on November 6th. The AU women's field hockey team opened the NCAA tournament in the first round today. After winning the Patriot League title last weekend, they sadly played Iowa today and lost 2-3. And with that, ATV News is signing off for the fall semester. We want to thank the School of Communication for its continued support. I'm Payton Ziegler.
And I'm Liv Wood. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the spring.